Hey, what's up, world? Jason here. I had originally started this channel, or my New Year's resolution for 2025 was to start a YouTube channel and just kind of organically see where it goes. And originally, I intend this to be more of like an informational or educational channel that where I can kind of talk about my experience and my know-how of wedding photography and street photography and corporate engagement photography, which is what I'm doing mostly nowadays, anyways. But I also want to talk a little bit about my personal life and the goings on of some of the things that I kind of partake in, or give you my thoughts, my unsolicited thoughts and opinions on certain things. So that'll hopefully be like more of a entertaining kind of aspect to this channel. So who knows, if I'm gonna do more of these personal things. I kind of do, I want to have a nice balance between some of the work related stuff and then have some other things that have to do with my life, because I think sometimes it's entertaining and other times it's beneficial for other people to kind of, see that other people may be going through the same things that some of you out there are as well. So last week, for 10 days, I had kind of gone off the grid and went to a 10-day meditation retreat center up in Shelburne, Massachusetts. This is the Vipassana retreat, and basically what you're doing is waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and meditating most of the day until 9 p.m. and going to sleep around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. They take your phone, so you can't obviously talk on the phone, but you can't text message, email. Um, Basically, you're out of touch from society for 10 days, and you don't even talk to people or acknowledge the people that are there. You're just kind of like in your own world for those 10 days. And yeah, it sounds a little kooky, it sounds a little culty, it sounds a little weird. And it's probably none of that. Maybe it's a little weird, but that's just, I guess, where you're coming from. But originally, I planned on making just like one video, talking about my experience. But I'd filmed some footage on the way up and filmed some footage on the way down, so it's kind of like more raw and vulnerable in terms of my emotional state or my mental state at that point. So what I'm gonna do is I'd originally wanted to edit that down, but a couple factors. I have never edited videos before. I'm a photographer by trade, and I always just kind of try to stick to that lane, and I've never really gone into video before, and that's probably why I've you know hesitated on doing YouTube videos for such a long time. It's a completely different animal for me. And so, while I did want to edit the videos and put together one comprehensive video to just kind of like go through the entire process, I realized maybe I'll just kind of wing it and just give you a stream of consciousness with a little bit of edits here and there, just kind of like take out some of the ums and long silences and pauses and maybe some crying if that, yeah, no, I don't. I teared up but didn't cry. But yeah, and also one note before we roll the videotape. Rookie mistake. I had, I guess I wasn't really thinking about how I looked, physically, or how I'm presenting myself as. I'm not even like, am I like hunching over? Anyways, I had like a little bit of a booger peeking out of my nose on the way up. So, when I was reviewing the video after I got back home, I was a little bothered, to tell you the truth, because that's all I could look at, and that's probably all you're gonna look at. You guys are gonna look at. So please try to concentrate on the information and less on the booger that's hanging out. And I'll do better. I promise. I checked my face before I made this video, and this is as good as it gets. So I apologize for not being good looking dude, but it is what it is, man. Anyways, here's the set of videos. I'm not really sure how many videos I made or how many videos I'm gonna upload. But I hope you enjoy, and if you have any questions, let me know. And well, I was about to like double click something, but this is how newbie I am. Anyways, peace. Hey, what's up, world? I am heading up to Shelburne, Massachusetts. I'm gonna do my 10-day Vipassana silent meditation retreat. It's my second time going up there. The first time I did it was 2019, right before the pandemic, actually. It was May or June before that, and yeah, it's my second time going up. It's been 5 years, and the only reason why it's taken so long for me to go back was just kind of scheduling. Take 10 days out of your life to coordinate so that you could kind of like just disappear for 10 days and have the minimal amount of impact because of that. It's hard to schedule, especially with a small business, micro business that I'm running. I personally like to photograph all of the events that I book, and I'm afraid of the brand being watered down. Getting off tangent. So the reason it took so long for me to go back and do it again is because it's so difficult finding a 10 block time where you're not going to be working. Being a small business owner, you're not really allowed any days off, and the day offs that you get are not really day offs, kind of. So it's tough to find those 10 days.
Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Thanks. It's tough to find those 10 days. And the holiday season actually is pretty convenient for me since there's no bookings really close to the holidays. So this was an ideal time. And now I'm driving up to Massachusetts. The one in Shelburne, is like the main center for Vipassana in America. So I'm kind of curious, and I'm looking forward. I know I shouldn't be looking forward to it. It's not a Nietzsche. But there's anxieties there, but there's also an eagerness to kind of get back on track. I've kind of lost my ways in terms of my meditation practice past couple of years. 2019, 2020, 2021, I was pretty good with the meditating. And then 22 and 23 and this year has been very minimal. So
watch out, vehicle on shoulder ahead.
So for those that might not know, probably don't, but Vipassana is a form of meditation where it's body scanning and really acceptance of what is. The pains, the sensations, struggles, the successes, the failures. It's all of a realization that everything is temporary. It's almost kind of coincides with Stoicism for a bit. And what I do like about Vipassana is that it's very secular. It's not religious at all. And it's easily digestible because it's real world applications rather than, oh, just believe it and then, you'll get better eventually, right? Like, that kind of like, it doesn't sit well with me. I'm not a huge fan of that. First time I went, some of the things that I remember right off the bat, off the top of my head, is crazy dreams, having crazy dreams. I think whenever the mind goes through some kind, or whenever the brain goes through some like physical changes, maybe like some chemical changes, the neuroplasticity of the brain, it kind of has an impact on dreams, because every time I'm in some kind of like withdrawal state, I get crazy dreams. Any kind of thing that I'm going through withdrawal of, the dreams become insanely vivid and terrifying almost. So I remember dreams being like the hardest part, but also I was kind of like looking forward to sleeping too, mainly because crazy dreams are kind of fun too, they weren't all bad. And then what else do I remember? I remember one of the big takeaways from my from my first Vipassana was during the first like 9 days, you're just kind of like looking around, and you can't help but have these like internal thoughts, judging everybody, right? Like, you went through your entire X amount of years of life contemplating, and so, when you're eating, you can't help but look at the person across the table from you and be like, oh, well, this person is, this or that, or, I gotta admit, man, a lot of my impressions were like, oh, this guy thinks he's cool, or, this guy is like blah, 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 and, they're all like very negative prejudgments, not like extremely negative, but they were all negative, and they were all just kind of like, it really kind of took me back a little bit and humbled me and gave me kind of like a nice little gauge of how angry I was inside, and how, I don't know, I think there was just a lot of like hate built up, and there's a cop. Anyways, yeah, so from that moment on, I've kind of tried to change my ways of
Police
thinking and
reported
prejudging.
ahead.
Oh, no, now you tell me. Thanks. Of course, that always isn't, it doesn't always, you can't always put that into practice, because you end up slacking. You end up going back to, how it was before. A lot of cops on the road today, so good thing I have my radar detector. And
Police reported ahead.
I got Waze, double protected. So yeah, back to what I was saying. When during the 10 days, man, I was so judgmental of everybody, and then when that 10th day came and you're allowed to talk again, you introduce yourselves to people that you've seen all week, 12 hours a day, just imagining like who they were, and then they end up being like amazing people, right? Like, just completely different from what you expected. And while, I was disappointed in myself for, having those prejudgments, and it's also like kind of like a learning experience, like a learning, growing, your self-awareness, knowing where your weaknesses are. Because you can only improve yourself if you know where your weaknesses are, right? If you think you know everything, you're not going to learn anything. If you go in there with an open mind and ready to learn, then I think you're maximizing the possibilities, the chances of, being the most efficient. My second, since this is my second one, I feel like I'm a little bit more nervous going into this one than the first one. I think the first one I was a lot more mentally prepared because you've never done it before, right? So you kind of over prepare, and I always like to be over prepared, it makes the task a lot more easier when practice was a lot harder than the actual game. So this time around, because I had already gone through it, I already have that, like that mental challenge or that mental block of, can I do it? Can I, am I going to quit? That's not there. Of course, the possibilities of that happening can always, you can't control what your mind does most of the times, right? Yeah. So this time I didn't do that much prepping. Honestly, I was just very busy with trying to get everything finished. I have a lot of things I need to take care of, like family-wise, and then there was a lot of things to take care of work-wise, and to make sure that, everything's all, battened down. Is that the term, batten down the hatches? Make sure everything is, good to go. So yeah, I'm kind of driving up, and I've got zero expectations, which is, I think, the proper way of going about it. And mini road trip. I love driving. I love driving in my car. I love my car. I don't even mind traffic so much. It's just, I mind the time wasted, but I don't mind, the actual driving part. Or, this seems like a pretty smooth drive up, pretty straight. So